Hello and welcome to my first top 10 video. I wanted to do top 10 videos for a while, but I wasn't exactly sure what kind of format I would like to do, so I decided that I was just going to talk to you about why I put things at certain places. It seemed very straightforward to me after I thought about it. Anyway, this is the first Loverboy 821 top 10s list, and since a lot of my content on this channel has been Pokemon related, I decided to do for my first top 10 list my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Um, they're just the qualifications for this list aren't super complicated. They're just whichever Pokemon I like best to worst, and the reasons why I like them can be wildly different. For example, one of them I might like just because of their design is super neat to me, and other ones I like because I enjoyed using them in the games. So I'll talk a little bit about why I like them, a little bit about the Pokemon themselves, and with that, we're just gonna roll right into it. Number 10. At number 10, we have Espeon, and frankly, it's really easy to just see why I like Espeon. First of all, its design is adorable, and I always thought it looked like one of the coolest Pokemon ever, even like when I was little and I was playing Pokemon Stadium 2 before like actually having gotten into Pokemon. Espeon was just like the coolest thing to me. Um, but in addition to just its design is awesome, it is probably the strongest evolution. All evolutions have the same stat spread. They have 130, 110, 95, 65, 65, 60. And the only thing that really changes is what those stats are in. For example, Vaporeon has 130 base health, Flareon has 130 base attack, Jolteon has 130 base speed, so on and so forth. Espeon has the best attacking spread with 130 special attack off of it being a psychic type, which is already like the third to first one of the three strongest types. And then it has 110 speed, so it outruns pretty much anything. In addition to that, it is a joy to use because of its move set, its stab psychic, and magic bounce is always so fun when you're going against people who are like, I'm gonna set hazards, and you're like, no, you're not. Um, yeah, that's pretty much. I also just really like it. I really enjoyed Coliseum, where it was one of your starting Pokemon. And I have an Espeon that was originally on a Ruby cartridge, is currently now on my Shield. Like, I've gone through all of the effort of, like, bringing it up through the generations. And it's still definitely one of the mainstays on my team, though I have changed its moves and stuff according to generations. So yeah, Espeon. Very solid Pokemon. Number 9. And now at number 9, we have Skizor. Uh, and I'll be honest, 99% of the reason why I love him so much is just look at this thing. Just, it's, it's just a metal red, it's just the coolest thing. He's another one for Pokemon Stadium 2, which is the first game I played, which is why both number 10 and number 9 I brought up memories from it. Uh, he was another one that I was just like, he is the coolest thing. But in Generation 2, he wasn't, like, good at all. He had the Steel typing, which was nice, and he had the Bug typing, which was good off his high attack for hitting the powerful, powerful psychic types back when they were still broken. But his lackluster speed, his small HP, and his weakness to any sort of fire attack that would just automatically kill him really made him hard to use. I liked him despite all of this, and obviously in the games you can use whoever you want, but when you're like competitively battling people, like how I was in Stadium, like he was just not usable. But bright silver lining is that he became very good over the course of the games. Right now, he's a joy to play, assuming you use him correctly. First of all, his speed is still a huge problem, but in he got a super amazing ability and a really powerful stab attack. With Bullet Punch, which isn't actually that powerful, but it has a base power of 40, and with a stab bonus, it is power of 60. It is Steel type quick attack, so he always goes first unless someone uses another priority move against him, which completely nullifies one of his lowest stats, which is the lowest stat that matters is his speed. So he's actually able to get attacks off with his monstrous 130 attack. And beyond that, he also has the ability Technician, which boosts weak moves. So Technician boosts Bullet Punch to 60 power, which then with his stab makes it 90 power. A 90 power attack move off of 130 attack, it's really good. It knocks a lot of people out. Plus, he has Bug Bite, which is a stab for the other side, whereas before he didn't really have a powerful stab to use for his other typing. And now he can use Bug Bite to eat berries and thus rob opponents of their berry boosts. So, if you're playing after Generation 4 or up, I would absolutely recommend using one. If you're playing before that, can't really recommend it as like an actually solid Pokemon, but he is super cool looking, and as long as you level him up and you aren't playing like against other players, I'm sure he's solid enough in Generations 2 and 3, just because of his Steel typing, which is great defensively. Unless you are fighting fire types. So, yeah. Number 8. Alright, and at number 8, we have Nidoqueen. I'm going to be completely transparent about this. I have no idea why I like Nidoqueen so much. First of all, her design is really cool, but it's not like the coolest design of all time. It's a little awkward in places too, but she's a very early gen Pokemon. And also, her stats are like all around pretty decent, but none of them are good. They're all like, they're all sub 100. Her attacks are highest stat, but it's not really enough to single KO anybody, or she probably has trouble. She struggles to 3-piece a lot of slightly bulky people. She's ground type, which is great, as it gives her stab earthquake, but she's also poison type, which is bad because she gets obliterated by psychic types who don't really need any help. Other than that, I think my favorite thing about her is just her very large moveset and how I have very fond memories of using her in Pokemon Yellow, because I would get her like before Misty, and then I would just use her to like beat everyone in the game. And that's what I have to assume is the reason why I like her so much, because she is genuinely my 8th favorite Pokemon. I love putting her on my team whenever I can. She's just... I'm not sure why, if that makes sense. Moving on. Number 7. Alright, and at number 7 we have Ribombee. Now, I know what you're thinking, but shut up. So, Rimbombi is the evolution of Cutiefly. This is a fully evolved Pokemon. Um, yes, despite the fact that its base stats are 60, 55, 60, 95, 70, 124, it is a fully evolved Pokemon, I swear. Rimbombi is actually deceptively good, and the reason why it's good lies in its moveset and its typing. It's a fairy bug type, which makes it very good against two of the strongest types in the game. Psychic types, which it can hit super effectively with Bug Buzz, which does a lot of damage, and Dragon types, which it can hit super effectively with Moonblast, which does a lot of damage. Additionally, its special attack is 95, which is not terrible. It's higher than any of Nidoqueen's stats. But, and its speed is excellent at 124. But you know what makes it so much better than what it should be with, like, those are solid stats. They're not good stats for like a special attacker, but they're okay stats. But they become excellent stats when you realize that Rimbombi has access to Quiver Dance, the best boosting move in the game, where it boosts both its special attack and its speed. So, if it gets a couple of Quiver Dances off, it is a monster. A cute, adorable little monster. All of that is completely separate from why I like it. The reason I like it is because fucking look at it. It's just the cutest thing that's ever existed ever, and I want like 50 of them. Oh wait, I have like 50 of them in my game, because I love them so much. Just look at it. Number 6. Alright, and at number 6, here we have Garchomp. Garchomp is the strongest dragon Pokemon who isn't a legendary. He is so powerful that he's stronger than some dragon Pokemon who are legendaries. He is one of the strongest Pokemon of all time, one of the most competitively viable Pokemon of all time, and frankly, he's a goddamn shark dragon, which is just cool as hell. Now, if you've been a fan of my content for a while now, you'll know very well that one of my favorite things in the entire world is dragons. I like dragons a lot. I like dragon video games. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I like dragon Pokemon. I like mythical dragons. I like pictures of dragons. I like dragons. So it makes sense that one of my favorite Pokemon would be the quintessential dragon of Pokemon. Garchomp is a ground dragon type, and it makes full use of these typings with its monstrous 130 attack. It's able to unleash stab earthquakes from this attack, one hit KOing tons of things, and it's able to unleash powerful physical dragon type attacks from its 130 attack, killing many more things. Additionally, its speed is 102, which is fantastic. But even though it's not the fastest thing in the world, it is fast enough to go before a lot of other things that are stronger than, like physically hit harder than it. But it also has 108 health, 95 defense, and 85 special defense. It has a very solid defensive core that, as long as you're not letting it tank fairy type attacks and dragon type attacks for the most part, it will survive a few hits to continue wrecking things with its powerful attacks. So, I feel like this is the one I need to explain the least. It is just Garchomp is amazing, and I like winning, and I also like dragons. He is a dragon who is designed really cool, and I like that, and he's really good, which makes me win a lot, and I like winning. So, frankly, yeah, just if you want to win, get a Garchomp. That's all I'm saying. Number 5. Speaking of winning, at number 5 we have Metagross. I'm gonna be completely honest. This thing is my fifth favorite, almost exclusively for just how it feels to use. Now, I think it looks cool as hell. Don't get me wrong. But it it's really just the feeling of you're sending out a killing computer in a fight and you're just like, "Ah, yes, you've brought a mouse. How about a robot designed to kill things?" And that's it. All it does is kill things. It is a steel psychic type, which gives it an excellent defensive core. It has 135 attack, 135 being the highest stat we've seen on my favorite list thus far. It hits like a goddamn truck, a truck that is basically what it basically is just a tank. Its defense is 130, along with the resistances of steel type means there's not a lot of physical things that bother it. Its special defense is 90, which is still really good. Its health is 80, which is acceptable. With its steel and psychic typing, it's able to use powerful steel attacks effectively, which started out pretty good just because there were stab powerful attacks, but now that steel is good against fairy, it's especially good because fairy is one of the strongest types in the game, and it's fucking everywhere. With its signature Meteor Mash, it is able to boost its attacks while simultaneously doing damage, and it has one of the best megas in the entire game. A Mega Metagross literally has higher stats than Mewtwo. I don't know if you recall, or if you're new to Pokemon, but Mewtwo is, well, he has a movie where he just obliterates everybody, because that's all he was designed to be the strongest Pokemon. Mega Metagross laughs in the face of Mewtwo. Back in Generation 6 and Generation 7, the Mega that I most often had on my team was Mega Metagross. The other Mega that I had on my team was Mega Beedrill, but we're not talking about Mega Beedrill right now. Mega Beedrill is not in the list right now. Anyway, basically, if you want to win, my suggestion is definitely Metagross is just so good. I cannot overstate how good it is. Just also just look at it. I don't have I can't collect my thoughts enough to explain why I like Metagross or how good it is really, but it's just a killing computer inside of a giant mech. And that's all it is. Number 4. And at number 4, we have Blissey. Blissey is amazing. They have the most health of any Pokemon, and as a matter of fact, they have the highest single stat of any Pokemon, with their base HP being 255. That means a fully leveled Blissey can have well over 700 health. They just stand there in the face of anything. I love using Blissey because I'm an asshole, mostly. First of all, Blissey has, as I explained, the most health ever. They also get a move called Soft Boiled, in which they eat the egg. No, that's not their egg, it's a snack for later. And heal half of their health. Oh, you did 300 damage to me? Good job. I'm fine now. And they also have an ability of note called Serene Grace, which doubles effects of moves they use. So if, for example, they use Ice Beam, that usually has a 10% chance to freeze, it instead has a 20% chance to freeze, so on and so forth. So, and lovely enough, I like putting Toxic and Minimize on my Blissey. Minimize makes them much harder to hit, so as you are trying to hit this unbreakable wall, it unfeelingly just stares at you and dodges. this giant egg thing dodges, and it's just really demoralizing. I have had many people just quit against me if I use Blissey. Blissey is so much fun. It is a mainstay on almost all of my real teams. Oftentimes, when I'm making a team, I just automatically put Blissey on my team and go, well, of course Blissey's coming. Um, a Blissey with leftovers, the longevity of a Blissey with leftovers, and minimize, and substitute, and toxic, it can very often defeat entire teams that aren't ready for it. The only two things that stop that strategy is either a poison or a steel type. Poison types are very rare, steel types are not. Poison types aren't rare, like you can't find them. It's not a lot. They aren't brought as often, or at least they weren't before fairy type was a thing. Anyway, point is, Blissey, Blissey would just stand in the middle of an explosion and be like, "Ha, I'm fine." It's just, and also its cute appearance along with its just immovable HP stat is a great just combination. And also I like its lore. It's a really cute Pokemon. If it finds sad people, it offers them an egg to try and cheer them up. And I don't know if that helps or not, but it wants to help, and that's adorable. So in short, get a Blissey, and ignore all of the liars who will try and tell you that not evolving Chansey into Blissey, and instead just giving Chansey and the fucking item that increases its defense if it's not evolved is better. Those people are liars. They are subversive. They are a hindrance to our community. Remember, Blissey. Number 3. Okay, and now at number 3, we come to the first and only legendary Pokemon on my top 10 favorite Pokemon list, Azelf. Azelf is the legendary Pokemon of willpower. It is the accumulated willpower of, all human beings, basically. It is one of the 3 powerful trio that is used to summon literally God. And that's cool. And he's from the 4th generation, which is my favorite. But I wasn't that into him when he first came out, because I wasn't that into the trio. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. He's one of the 3, the legendary trio from the 4th generation. And I wasn't that interested in them. They looked silly compared to, the legendary birds from the 1st generation, the legendary beasts from the 2nd generation, and the golems from the 3rd generation. Even though I didn't like the golems from the 3rd generation, I was still, putting them above the mystic trio. But that was wrong, because Azelf is actually the coolest ever. His stats are fully offensive. All he does is kill people. As opposed to another member of the trio is fully defensive, and one member of the trio is between the two. In other words, he's worthless because he's not really good at either or. But Azelf has 125 attack, which is monstrous, 125 special attack, which is monstrous, and 115 speed, which is great. It usually goes first. It has enough attack. It has equal attack and special attack, both of which are extremely high, making it pretty much the only mixed attacker that's still viable. You usually go first, and if you come up against someone with a high physical defense, just hit them on the special side. If you come up against someone with a high special defense, just hit them on the physical side. Also, Azelf has an amazing moveset. My personal Azelf is mostly special attack and speed focused with Nasty Plot, Psychic, and Fire Blast, along with having been EV trained for both special attack and speed. But he has Explosion, which has 250 base attack. And off of his attack of 125, even without the investment, an Explosion kills most anything that is hit by it. So come in, kill however many people I can with his special attacks, and then use Explosion to just get another kill. But that's certainly not the only way you can use this malleable Pokemon. I love this guy because he's adorable, but I also like that he is quintessentially the Pokemon that you use. Like, he's fast enough to usually go first, which is something you always want, and no matter what attacks you like, he can pretty much do them. And if you like Earthquake, he has enough physical attack to make it good. If you like Fire Blast, he has enough special attack to make it good. So it's just whatever you want, and that's pretty much it. I just really like how many options I have while I'm using him. Number 2. And now, at number 2, we have Shuckle, who is by far my most used competitive Pokemon. And I mean, I've been using him even when he was untiered. I was still using him in OU, because I'm going to tell you all a secret right now. And it's something that only truly great Pokemon trainers know. Shuckle is the strongest Pokemon. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Loverboy, his health is 20, his speed is 5, he has the lowest speed in the entire game. His attacks are both only 10. And you're correct, those are the numbers that you are looking at right now. Doesn't matter, still the strongest Pokemon in the game. There are 3 main ways to properly use a Shuckle. The first way to use a Shuckle is to take advantage of the fact that he is stronger than Steel. Like, his defense is 230, and his special defense is 230. He isn't like Blissey, where Blissey gets hit and goes, ha, I still got a lot more in me. Like, whatever. Shuckle is, he gets hit and doesn't notice. You don't hurt him. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. You could shoot him with a nuke, and he would still just be there in his shell. It's fine. So, to take advantage of that, I recommend using Toxic and Bug Bite to chip down opponents, as well as Rest to heal yourself back up, Leftovers to keep yourself healing over time, and Protect to give yourself a turn of extra protection. The second way to use him would be, instead of doing that, instead of the Protect, give him Rollout. Rollout is an attacking move, which you might be thinking, why would I give him an attacking move? He has 10 attack. You're correct. But Rollout is a stab move, so it has stab bonus. And it's special, where it attacks 5 times, and every time it hits, it has double the power. It starts with 30 power, which sucks. It goes to 60 power, which is not great. It goes to 120 power, which is amazing. It's literally stronger than Earthquake. Then it goes to 240 power, which is as strong as Explosion. And then it goes to 480 power, which is the strongest move in the game. Now, the other move you're going to get rid of for this set is Rest. You don't need it. You don't need it anymore. It's not about longevity anymore. You are bringing the fight to your enemies. You are destroying people with the monster known as Shuckle. What you're going to give them is Defense Curl. You'll use Defense Curl 1 time. His defense is so high that the boost in defense doesn't matter. What you're doing is doubling the power of Rollout. So then you'll use rollout for 60 power, 120 power, 240 power, 480 power, and 960 power. A move that has 960 power will one hit most anything, even with an attack of 10. His attack is inconsequential when the power of the move is that high. And all the while, as your foe is desperately trying to kill you, because of your tank-like defenses, it won't matter. Shuckle will just sit there and then roll out again the next turn. He is invincible. He is immutable. He is amazing. The strongest Pokemon ever. Period. Now, if you really want to be advanced, the highest way that I can recommend using Shuckle is you will give him Encore, Gyro Ball, and Power Trick. The fourth move doesn't matter, but I usually bring Toxic just because I like Toxic and it's a good thing to fall back on. So what you're going to do is, first thing you do is you throw him out as your lead Pokemon and you use Encore. Most people, when they throw out a lead Pokemon, use either a boosting move or a setup move, which is either a boosting move or a hazard move. They will be stuck in that. Then you will use Power Trick. This will switch your 230 defense and your 10 attack so that you have 230 attack and 10 defense. You will then use Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball is stronger the slower you are than your opponent. So the slower you are, the higher power it has. Shuckle is the slowest Pokemon in the game, which means it has a very high power always. And off of a 230 attack, he will one-hit literally everything in the entire game. Now, this is of course a difficult strategy to pull off, and it does have its flaws. But if you can return Shuckle after that, and then throw out a Trick Room setter so that he can get set up again, he will defeat the entire enemy team. So, in short, you don't fuckle with Shuckle. And also, this is not relevant, but in 10th, I said Espeon is my 10th favorite Pokemon. He is, but I forgot to say don't Mespeon with Espeon. And I feel like I'm just going to put it in here now, because you don't fuckle with Shuckle and you don't Mespeon with Espeon. Number 1. And now, at number 1, we have my favorite Pokemon of all time, Flareon. Flareon is terrible. Here's the thing. Flareon is my favorite Pokemon. I always have a Flareon. If I were if I were going to make a team, like this is the team I'm using from now on instead of just having like hundreds of Pokemon to pick from, Flareon would definitely be my ace. If I were a gym leader, I would be a fire type gym leader. So on and so forth. I really, really like Flareon. Unfortunately, Flareon is bad. It is a terrible Pokemon to actually use. It accomplishes very little. Now here's the thing. On paper, its stat of 130 attack and 110 special defense, both of those are solid stats. And its 95 special attack allows it to have a pretty decent special attack to unleash Fire Blast and Flamethrowers from. So it has a special option and isn't pigeonholed into only using its physical attack. But it suffers from some terrible problems of, first of all, its defense is 60 and health is 65, which means its world gets fucking rocked by any physical attack. Additionally, it's a fire type, which means it has physical weaknesses galore in rock and ground. And also its speed is 65, which means it almost always goes second, which means most things hit it bad. And since it dies in one hit most of the time and always goes second, it always just goes out and dies immediately. and doesn't get to do anything. It hits like a truck if it ever does get to go, but that doesn't matter because it will never get to go. And even if it did, despite its stats meaning it hits like a truck, it doesn't really have any good moves. It kind of has Flare Blitz, and that's its best option, but that has recoil and is already incredibly frail. And it's just really not a good Pokemon. The reason why it's my favorite is entirely it's just I love its design, I like its typing. I think it's the perfect combination of cute and cool looking. And I really think it would be like I bet it'd be super warm to cuddle, right? Like I bet its fur is like really warm and just nice to cuddle, and I just it's entirely the design. I entirely just it's my favorite design. I really liked fire types, and I keep trying to make Flareon work, and it just doesn't. But I've decided that's fine because with like the Pokemon Amiibo and the Pokemon camps and stuff, I just pet it. Like it's not here to battle. It's just my pet in the Pokemon world. And that's it. That is my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Thank you all for listening. I apologize that this went on for way longer than I expected it to. But I had a lot of fun writing this video essay. I hope you had as much fun reading it as I did writing. Goodbye, and catch you next time.